So, not only do we have the first movie since 1994's Fear,
I recognize that. What is that?
Oh shit, that's from Fear, dude.
Oh, that's Marky
That's
Mark.
Marky Mark.
where Mark Wahlberg is playing the bad guy, but he's bald? I had to see this. Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to give you my review of the latest film from Mel Gibson, Flight Risk. But before we get started, you know exactly what to do. At the end of the video, if you think I've earned it, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. Now let's get into it. Flight Risk stars Michelle Dockery as U.S. Marshal Madeline Harris, who's been tasked with transporting government witness Winston, played by Topher Grace, from Alaska to New York City so he can testify against a big-time crime boss. Sounds simple enough, right? Wrong, because their pilot, Daryl, played by the aforementioned bald Mark Wahlberg, is actually a plant put there to kill Winston and take out Harris in the process. So now, our two protagonists are stuck in a plane in the middle of nowhere, trying to fend off a psychotic mob enforcer while trying to not die. Sounds like a decent setup, right? An intense, claustrophobic thriller in the sky, a little Red Eye meets Air Force One action. Well, that's what I thought too. And then I saw the movie. And look, I've already seen a ton of hate for this movie online, people calling it the worst movie of 2025 already when we're just barely done with January. And while I won't go that far, I will say this. This movie's really, really stupid. And if that's your thing, if you love dumb, so bad they're good action movies, where logic takes a backseat to pure idiocy, you might have some fun with this. But if you're going in expecting a well-written, pulse-pounding thriller, you're gonna leave disappointed.
What the hell was that?
Let's start with the characters. Topher Grace is still coasting off of his nervous, dorky, early 2000s shtick, except while that really worked for him in that 70s show, now it's just kind of annoying. Seriously, he spends the entire movie either whining, crying, or dropping outdated one-liners like, "You think?" Then we've got Michelle Dockery, playing probably the blandest protagonist I've seen in a long time. And here's the thing, she's not a bad actress, she just doesn't really have much to work with here. She doesn't get to be a fun, badass action lead, and she's not really a complex, layered character. She's just kinda there, doing whatever the plot calls for. She gets some backstory at one point, which I assume is a desperate attempt to make us care that got added into the movie. But aside from that, all she really does is occasionally scrap with Marky Mark. Tell Topher Grace to shut the hell up, and talk to different characters on a satellite phone, which is about as interesting as it sounds. Truly thrilling stuff. Oh, and let's not forget about the random subplot about a mole in the US Marshal's office. You'd think this would add some tension and mystery, but not really. Our protagonist basically instantly figures it all out by guessing, like she's the world's greatest detective. Move over, Batman. No real build-up, just, oh, it might be this person, but actually it's definitely this guy, and the guy that she thinks is the guy who it ends up being. But let's talk about the real reason that I came to see Flight Risk. Bald Mark Wahlberg!
Y'all need a pilot?
And honestly, he's easily the best part of the movie. Accent inconsistencies aside, seriously, he starts with this goofy southern drawl before transitioning into an even goofier Brooklyn accent. He's actually super fun to watch. He chews the hell out of this role, throwing out brutal threats, taunting them from the back and getting under everyone's skin, and delivering the type of unhinged villain performance that makes you wish that Mark Wahlberg would play more bad guys. Sure, he spends most of the movie alternating between being tied up in the back of the plane and taunting Michelle Dockery and Topher Grace, and getting into clunky fight scenes, but damn it, at least he's bringing something to this. There's one scene where his back and forth with Michelle Dockery is very solid too, mostly because he's really trying to get under her skin by digging into her past. It's one of the few moments in the film that actually adds some tension. But beyond Wahlberg, this movie's a mess.
What a mess.
I like a good bottle story. Trapping all the characters in one location can lead to some intense creative filmmaking, but Flight Risk just doesn't do that. Instead, you've got janky editing, pacing issues, hilariously bad CGI, a script that is full of holes, and an ending that is so absurd and goofy. I almost respect it. Almost. Oh, and let's talk about the stakes. Or rather, the lack of them. Yeah, there's the main danger of them being stuck up in the sky with a killer, but the stakes never really ramp up or go anywhere else. There's no real tension or heart-pounding moments where you think some characters might not make it. It's all just going through the motions.
You're just going through the motions.
Mel Gibson, man. Why? This is the guy that directed Braveheart, The Passion of the Christ, Apocalypto, Hacksaw Ridge. And after 9 years away from the director's chair, this is what he gives us? Not some brutal, old-school action thriller, but a generic, forgettable thriller that feels like it should have gone direct to streaming? Come on. There's fun to be had here if you can turn your brain all the way off, but even then, bald Marky Mark is the only thing that keeps it from being a complete train wreck. And that's my review of Flight Risk, the first bad movie I've seen in 2025. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. I said it earlier. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. While you're at it, you can scroll down the description below, find the links to my socials, leave a comment, let me know if you saw Flight Risk and what you thought. And if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. I'll take you to my review of Wolfman, or just over to my channel where you can check out the rest of my reviews and my shorts. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next week for my review of Companion.